welcome back to C2 Novel and Vocab, and this is our video for our novel, and this is week 1. Hello again, thank you for joining, and in this video we'll be going over difficult phrases from our novel, and this is to help with cultural fluency. By becoming familiarized with different slang and colloquialisms, which means words that people say, students will be able to relate to the novel and incorporate, which means to use, these phrases to convey and show their ideas more precisely. And today I'll be going over The Secret School, and we'll be going over chapters 1 through 4. So please, if you don't already, go get your book in front of you, because I will be giving you page numbers to open up to, and we'll be reading together. Are you ready? Good. Please, everyone, go to page 5. This one was an easy one. Number 5. At the very bottom, I'm going to first start from the middle where it says Herbert. Everybody see where my finger is? In the middle of the page where it says Herbert, it says, Herbert lifted one of his bare feet and wiggled his toes. Guess I don't know much about how shoes work, he said. Ida ignored him. Whose car is that? She asked. Natasha, who was a year younger than Ida, replied, Mr. Jordan's. Mr. Jordan was the owner-operator of Wally's Mighty Fine Emporium, Elk Valley's feed and grocery store. He was also head of the school board. Guess he can park anywhere he wants, Ida acknowledged. How come he's here? Herbert shrugged. Dunno. What is dunno? Dunno. As you can tell from the pictures at the bottom, it means I don't know. It is a casual and colloquial way of saying I don't know. It's an informal contraction where the words are blended together. The phrase comes from informal speech, where people often shorten phrases to speak more quickly and casually. And over time, I don't know became I don't know. Or as here, as Herbert says, he doesn't even say the I, he says dunno. People often are casual, right? Shortened forms of speech to save time and make conversations flow more naturally. It's more of a relaxed and nonchalant attitude. It's not like he's talking to someone who's very proper. I don't think Herbert would really say dunno to the principal. Example, what time does the movie start? People can say dunno. Where's the teacher? Dunno. But would we like to always use this? Kind of the same with people saying gonna, G-O-N-N-A, instead of saying going to. It's kind of similar, but I don't like to use both. It means, I don't know, dunno. Next, let's go to page 6. I closed my book. Page 6. And it's at the bottom of the page, but I'm going to start in the middle, where it says, children, she said. In the middle, children. It says, children, she said, come in quickly, please. There's grave news to share. The children exchanged puzzled looks. What's that supposed to mean? Herbert muttered as soon as Miss Fletcher went back in. Shh, Ida hissed at him. Don't sass. Felix said, she didn't even say her regular good morning. Natasha added, wasn't even smiling. Guess we better get ourselves in and see, Tom said, always the logical one. Without another word, the children climbed up the porch stairs and filed inside. The school had but one room, built entirely of wood from the nearby Columbine lumber mill. And the building was 20 years old. But it says here, the school had but one room. I'm sure some of you who are reading were like, had but one room. What does that mean? Can't it just say the school only had one room? But why does it make it so confusing? Here, this phrase means that the school the school only had one room. The word but here is used in an older, more formal sense, meaning only. The use of but to mean only comes from older English usage, where it was more common to use formal language, which is kind of different than what we just saw with the word dunno. Why do we use this phrase? It emphasizes the simplicity and the small size of the school, highlighting that there were no additional rooms or facilities. So as you can see here, this is a picture of a one-room schoolhouse. So here, it's just a small little building. In here, when you go through this red door, it'll just look like this inside. But not even. It won't have the purple lockers. It won't have the bookshelves. It's just desks and the chalkboard, if they even have a chalkboard. So the school had but one room. Here, but is used as only. And if you can see, the setting of our story, which is very important, I'll go over with you, is probably around the 1920s. So right now we're into the 2020s. So this story is likely more than 100 years ago. So if you were to think about 100 years ago, they didn't have much technology. They didn't have big schools like we do. They have these one-room schools. Let's go to page 7. Page 7. I'll start in the middle where it says an aspen switch. So she's explaining what the room looked like, and it says an aspen switch for discipline hung alongside the board. Next to that was the school's library, a small bookcase containing some 15 tattered books plus a few old magazines. So, an aspen switch, as you can tell from my pictures here, it is a long stick, and it was used for discipline. An aspen switch is a thin, flexible branch from an aspen tree, historically used for disciplining children by lightly striking them, meaning, yes, you got hit by these sticks. Isn't that scary to think about a time when we used to get hit from a teacher with a stick? The practice of using these aspen switches for discipline dates back to older times when physical punishment was more commonly accepted in schools and in homes. The aspen tree was chosen because its branches are flexible and easily accessible, meaning they were able to get a lot of them, and it's everywhere. Here, the aspen switch, aspen is used because it is taken from the aspen tree. And switch here, it indicates it's used for light disciplinary striking, meaning the hitting part. This was a common method of discipline in the past. So, another example we can use this word is, the old school teacher used an aspen switch for discipline, although it's not common practice today. Or you can say, an aspen switch hung on the wall as a reminder to the students to behave properly. So here they use this aspen switch to remind you, be good in class. We would never have that in schools today, right? Oh my goodness, I would never want to do that. So as you can see in both pictures here, the teacher is having an aspen switch, and the black and white picture, she also has an aspen switch. Yikes. And if you were to imagine the middle picture, who do you think the teacher would use the aspen switch on? Scary, scary. No more. Page 10. Our next one. Page 10. And I'll start from the top, the first indent where it says Ida. Ida and Tom exchanged looks of shock. Mr. Jordan went on. This means you can have one long summer vacation, I'm sure, he chortled. That despite our sorrow at losing Miss Fletcher, that'll cheer you up. Tom raised a hand. Yes, Tom, Miss Fletcher said. I'm awful sorry for your trouble, Miss Fletcher. I truly am. But does that mean Ida and I won't be taking our exit exams? Miss Fletcher started to speak, but held back. Instead, she looked to Mr. Jordan for the answer. Exit exams? Well, he said after a moment's thought, we could hardly get us a new teacher on such short notice. So yes, I guess your exams will have to wait till next year. Ida lifted her hand. Yes, Ida, Miss Fletcher said. Mr. Jordan, Ida said, if Tom and I don't pass our exams this term, we can't go on to high school in Steamboat Springs come fall. So what are these exit exams? And we learned that they are 8th graders, right? So they're in the last year of middle school, but what are these exit exams? Exit exams are tests that students take at the end of a course or school year to show and demonstrate how much they learned and to see if they're ready to move on to the next grade or graduate. So as you know, exit means to bye, leave. And these exams are often required to ensure students meet academic standards. So are they doing well? Are they on grade level? Can they go into high school? So they're just parts of exams. I'm not quite sure in middle school culture in Korea if you had an exit exam to go on to high school, but definitely there is an exit exam in high school to go to university. So exit meaning to leave, an exam which is a test. So a test in order to leave and go on is what this means. Very good. And let's go to page 14. Let's go from the very top. We're talking about how much Miss Fletcher gets for being a teacher. It says, nope, Tom said. $40 each month, that's what. Banana oil, Tom cried. How do you know? Start of the year, I saw her contract on her desk. Sneak peek? Suppose I was. But if I had all that money, what would you do? Teach in a big city, Denver maybe? Have books, my own car, a new one, travel around the world? Come on, you're no flapper. Nice girls don't do that. First of all, $40 a month for a teacher? So now we really know this is the olden days, because that's almost 4 of the green money in Korea. 4 of those only for 1 month of being a teacher. Yikes, that's very little. But here, what does it mean when it says, come on, you're no flapper? First, come on doesn't mean, come on, let's go. It can mean that. However, in this context where it says, come on, it's saying it in disbelief, meaning, yeah, right, or I don't believe you. That's what it means. But what does it mean here? You're no flapper. A flapper was a young woman back in the 1920s. Again, this is our clue of what the setting is. Known for their energetic freedom and just they're living their life as they want. Meaning they didn't live a life of how women were supposed to, but they were living a life of women who were just like to have fun. Flappers were also characterized by their bold fashion, bobbed hair, which means a very short haircut, and their love for jazz music. So as you can see here on the right, there's a picture of a flapper. So flappers here represented a break from traditional norms, and the term is now synonymous with the Cultural Revolution of the Roaring 20s. So this is a little bit of American history. So in the 1920s, there was a lot of change happening there. So here, Tom is just saying, you're no flapper. You wouldn't actually do that. You would stay here in the countryside with your parents. Come on. I don't believe you. Page 15. On the next page. I'll start from the very beginning. At the top of page 15, are you ready? Remember how Miss Fletcher told us weeks ago the exams were hard? Ida said. I'd already started studying. Well, then guess it's time for a girl to have herself some fun. Ida jumped up, hands on hips. Tom Cole, she yelled, braids almost flying off her head with fury. You're such a sponge cake. She stormed away. For crying out loud, Ida, Tom called after her. I was just kidding. So here, Tom is just kind of being a little jokester, saying even though she was studying for the exams, too late, there's not going to be any exams, so he's saying you should just stop. It's time for you to have fun. And then she got really mad and called him a sponge cake. I don't know why about that. But here, for crying out loud, what does it mean for crying out loud? This phrase is an exclamation of frustration. You're like, ugh! Instead of saying, ugh, you're going to say, for crying out loud. In frustration, annoyance, or surprise. It's often used when someone is super annoyed or trying to emphasize their point. For crying out loud is a milder version of stronger expressions used to avoid offending others. So they're like saying, showing how angry they are, but not using any bad words. It conveys and shows a sense of urgency and a strong emotion. So, for crying out loud, Ida. Oh, jeez, Ida. I was just joking. That's what they're trying to say. For crying out loud. But even though they don't say any bad words in this phrase, it's not typically a nice phrase to really say and use. But it's just saying to show your frustration. Like, as you can see in these pictures, they're like, oh. For crying out loud, I was just joking. Page 26. Ooh, you like my little hearts there? Page 26. Jumping all the way to page 26. And in the middle, after the big paragraph in the beginning, it says, don't know. It was Tom's idea. I never even thought about it before he mentioned it. Well, Tom's sweet on you. Ma! Of course he is. Anyway, that doesn't have anything to do with it. So here, this is when they're saying that Tom was giving an Ida to give her the idea to be the teacher since Miss Fletcher is gone. And what does it mean here? Tom's sweet on you. To be sweet on someone means to have romantic feelings for them. It's a way of saying that someone likes someone else in a romantic or affectionate way. So instead of saying Tom's sweet on you, Ida's mom could have just said, Tom likes you. The term sweet suggests affection and kindness and fondness. So this phrase has been used for a long time to show romantic interest or just having to like someone. It's a gentle and fun way to express that they like someone. Using sweet here shows warmth and affection of the feelings. You can say, for example, you can say, I think he's sweet on her. He can't stop smiling when she's around. So that means, oh, I think he likes her. Sweet on you. But do I say, oh, I'm sweet on sushi, meaning I like sushi? No. Sweet on here would be used for some kind of romantic feel. Ooh, I like him. And page 33. Let's go to page 33. Let's start with the main thing. 1, 2, 3. The third indent in. It says, but the main thing is, Tom said, because I bet the school board wouldn't let us do it, we won't ask. We'll just do it on our own. A secret teacher? Felix asked. A secret school? Asked Mary. But, Natasha said with dismay, I already told my parents school was going to close. The other children nodded. They had too. Tom said, well, just tell them things got changed a little, that school is going on. Which it would be. Mostly. No fibbing there. But what if they ask who's teaching, Natasha asked. Say you don't know yet. What does it mean to say no fibbing there? What is fibbing? Fibbing means to tell a small lie, usually about something not very important, and is often seen as harmless or just like a white lie. Have you heard of a white lie before? So you're still lying, but it doesn't really hurt anyone's feelings. The word here, fib, is a less serious term for a lie, often used to refer to white lies, like I just said. It is used to downplay the seriousness of the lie, making it seem harmless. It suggests that the lie is not meant to cause harm or huge deceit. We're not trying to really trick anyone, but it's not a big lie, it's just a little lie. For example, say that you say, "I'm done with my homework, Mom." And then Mom says, "Are you fibbing about finishing your homework? It doesn't look like you're done." Meaning, are you lying? So, fibbing can be synonymous, meaning a synonym to lying, but not that bad of a lie. Fibbing. So as you can see here, he's debating between truth and lie. What's wrong and right? Fibbing. Here's the mission. What are the names of the students at Elk Valley School? And what grade are they in? I feel like I made my questions from last semester a bit too easy, so I'm going to make them a bit more detailed this semester. So for example, on a sheet of paper, you would write first grade, Kimberly. Second grade, Timberly. And then third through fifth grade. Maybe they didn't say the name and they just say 10 students. You'll write that down on a sheet of paper, on a little sheet of paper like this. Write your name on it, write your class name on it, write your answer. If you want to write a little note to me, that's also good and great. I love those. Put it into the YouTube mission box at the front desk. It is pink papered around it. And I will collect it, and then I'll be going around and giving your teachers $5 MI for answering this question. As I said in the last video also, if you answer this, you'll get $5 MI. However, but at the end of the semester, if you're the student that has the most answered missions, then you'll get a better prize. And I won't name that until towards the end of the semester. So, we're in week 1. You have one chance to get the mission for this week, so let's do it. What are the names of the students at Elk Valley School and what grade are they in? If you'd like to add a page number of where you got the answer from, that would be great also. But now, review time. It's time for you to self-study. Again, review all of the phrases again. How about this time you read it out loud? And you can also even reread the novel where these phrases came from to now fully understand what was happening. And after all of that, go ahead and complete your novel homework. Alrighty, everyone? Thank you so much again for joining me this time in this video. And we're done for week 1. I'll see you guys in week 2. Bye!